Hi peeps. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do some styles with markers. And I'm going to want everybody to use markers on this one. So no, on this one, we're not going to do any Procreate or anything. This is going to be all marker. Now, unfortunately, oh, there's dog hair. That's gross. Unfortunately or fortunately, we all have access to Crayola markers, okay? They're pretty good markers. Unfortunately, sometimes this is where it comes in, the unfortunately part. Uh, I like to also use markers that are kind of middle-aged to old as well because I find it easier to blend with those. But for regular, just basic markers, Crayola's a pretty decent brand. Um, a better brand, a little bit, would be Prismacolors, which are outrageously expensive. And to me, maybe not worth the price of moving up unless you're really into markers. And then, of course, there's the whole other kind of beast of alcohol markers. And I'm going to do a quick demo on those in case anybody has those at home and wants to use alcohol markers. So there's like four basic, well, there's a lot more, but I'm going to teach you how to do a blend. Okay. I'm going to teach you guys how to do bars, which are fine with Crayolas. I'm going to teach you guys how to do a fill, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do a fade. Okay. So those are the four things that I'm going to want you to do. I'm going to want you to practice all of these, and then you choose two out of the four, okay, to do. So you only have to do two out of these four somewhere in your graffiti art so that I know that you've done. Sorry about my dogs. You know they're untrained. So that you know what you're doing. Okay, so I always start with an R because R's are pretty cool. All right. And they just have kind of all of the things that you need. All right. And I'm not doing anything fancy schmancy. Okay. So there's my R. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do the 1 point perspective so that I can show you the bars because you do bars from the 1 point perspective, but I'm not going to make you watch me do that. So hold on, I'm going to pause. Okay, I totally lied. I'm going to make you do that. So remember, you start with a vanishing point, aka dot, and you can put a horizon line. It's not necessary unless you're doing kind of a whole thing. So look, what I do is I put my ruler right to the edge. Boop. All right, I'm going to put my ruler right here to the edge, just like I showed you before. All right, this one, well, I see it, so I'm going to put my thing right here. All right, now remember how I taught you. You take your ruler, and wherever it meets it is where you start your, see how, oops, there it is, okay? There we go. So I'm going to do it there. Also, I have one in the middle here. And I have one over here at this corner here. Hold on. My ruler's going cray. There we go. Oops. Okay. And then finally, I got this little guy there. I see him. Okay. I don't really need to do that, but okay. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I've done my 1 point perspective. And then what I'm going to do is, again, copy this line up here. Go like that. And you're outlining. Hold on. I'm going to do this one here. This one goes down. Boop. And that one goes here. And then this one goes here. And then I'm going to copy this curve up here. Okay, I'm going to copy this line right there. I'm going to copy this line. Well, I don't have to copy that line. I'm going to copy this line to this here. And then I'm going to copy this right there. All right, so now I have my 3D letter, and now I'm ready to show you guys how to do, let's start with a blend, okay? And so this R is going to have everything in it. So when you're doing a blend, you want to blend somewhat similar colors. So I might blend these two because they'll work really well together, or these two, okay? I could actually blend I don't know why this thing is rolling. Okay, stop rolling. Okay, there we go. Or I could blend this too. Okay, but I think that these are the colors I'm going to blend just because they're the easiest. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there's kind of a technique to this that you kind of have to practice. So I'm going to turn this over because I always make it easy for myself. And what you're going to want to do is, the cool part about Crayolas is they have a conical tip. So you see how it's a cone, okay? So I can use the thick side, right, and get a very thick line, or I can use the thin side and get a very thin line. But you see how I did that and it's kind of dark? What I want to do is go on the side and then kind of lift it up. And you see how it just kind of goes into a little triangle when I do that? So I'm pressing and I'm releasing it. Okay, and you notice I'm always overlapping, so I'm getting a nice straight thing there. I don't have like little pieces of paper showing through. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press and release it. Okay, this is when you want a middle-aged marker, because when you release it, it just gets it fades on its own. Okay, so that looks kind of cool. Okay, so that actually is a fade if I was just going to do that. Okay, so let me do that again over here. I'm going to do one that's a fade and one that's a blend. Okay, so the fade is basically you just press and release it. And as you can see, the marker automatically, and look, I smeared it. The marker automatically kind of gives that. Okay, so again, the technique is you press it and then you just kind of lift up a little bit. Always overlapping so you don't get something that looks like this. Okay, you want it always overlapping. Okay, so I have both of those. Okay, so if I was going to do a fade, all right, what I would do is I would figure out where I want to do it from, and I'm going to leave a little bit of white in the middle. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to press and release. And now I have that cool look like it's a fade, right? Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's a fade, okay? So what I basically did is I just did two sides and I left it white in the middle, or whatever color your thing is, okay? So now for a blend, and this is where it's kind of better to use, okay, so I'm going to kind of start from here, okay? And I'm actually going to do the same thing with the purple so that it blends into the blue. Same thing. And as you can see now, I have a nice blend looking thing. So I'm doing the same thing with the purple. I'm pressing it and releasing it. Okay, and now I have it looking like it fades. Okay, and if you notice, see, I have a little bit of white lines there. That's no bueno, but whatever. So that's a really good fade. And you can do that, going up as much as you want. So again, I always start like this. So let me show you how I would fade two colors that maybe are a little less similar. So again, I'm pressing and releasing it. I'm having it stop all kind of at the same place. So I have that nice consistency, because you always want consistency. And now I'm going to use the red, okay? I'm going to have that go into the purple. So watch. So pressing and releasing so that it overlaps the purple a little bit and fades into the, blends into the purple. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool, okay? You don't want to do this, with that bar going there, but I can continue to fade, and I'm going to, even though it's probably pretty boring for you to watch. But look, I'm going to press and release it. Just I want to show you kind of how cool this can look. And I'm getting a little sloppy, so let me, okay. So as you can see, I have that hairy edge, and I'm going to blend it into the orange, okay? And I might just kind of go down here a little bit with the orange. Now I'm going to press and release it so that it blends into the red. Okay, so now you have a nice blend. Okay, I did blue to purple to red to orange. And as you can see, it looks pretty good, but you really kind of want to do two colors at a time, okay? More than that is kind of overkill. So I'm getting a little black in there. So I'm going to press and release. Okay, and then I have that, and then I'm just going to blend that into the red. Let's see how that looks. Pressing and releasing it. I'm going pretty quickly, but as you can see, it blends really nicely. Now, let's say your tip got a little dirty because it got into the black. You just draw on it a little bit like that, and you'll get that out of there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is fill. Okay, and fill is just basically what it sounds like. It's just, you're just filling it. Okay, so when I fill with graffiti art, I use the edge. Okay, and you want to use thick lines in graffiti. You don't want to if you notice, I'm just going in one direction here. All right, and I'm overlapping it. So this is a nice way to fill it so that it doesn't look like, so it looks good. But if you notice, there's little lines that are going there. Okay, I don't like them that much. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to go this way too. All right, just to give it that nice smooth surface. Okay, and if you do this, you'll find that, well, you have a bunch of squares, but it looks a little better. So you see how nice and clean that looks when you do it that way. So I go one direction and the second direction. Now I'm going to do the bars. Okay, so to do the bars, I actually have to I'm just going to do them on this curvy part here because I don't want to spend a lot of time doing those. Okay, so there's one. I find my perspective again, and I continue with it. Okay, and I just put a bunch of these lines in. Exactly where that goes. Okay, so as you can see, I have a bunch of those lines. Now, when you do bars, you don't want them all to be the same size. You want them to be different sizes. So I might do some that are thicker. Okay, and I go straight to where it is, and then I might do some that are thinner. And you might want to use a ruler on these if you have a problem with a straight line. Okay, so some thicker, some thinner. And you see I'm just going and making sure I'm doing this really neatly. I think I need one more. I'm trying to figure out where that goes. Okay. All right. And as you can see, these are called bars, and they look really cool. All right. So that's always a fun thing to do. And remember, you can do a fade. You don't have to do a fade or a blend on the letter itself. You can do a really cool fade on the edge, on the 1-point perspective part of it. And that looks really cool, but you want to follow that line as well. You want to follow that perspective, otherwise it looks funny. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over one more time, kind of get an idea of where that goes, and I'm going to do my fade. Okay, and that would be that. Those are some of the cool things you can do. And as you can see, I use Crayolas, and they still are really cool. I mean, they look really nice, I think. Okay, so that is how you can use Crayolas. So these are the four things I want you to learn. Here's the fill. There's the fill. Here's some blend. Here's a blend. Here's a blend. There's a blend there. Here's the bars. Here's the fade, and here's the fade. Okay, so all of them are there for you, and you can do, like, a blend of those. Okay, so that's okay. So for instance, I might do this, and then I might do bars here and bars here, just as long as you keep them going in the same direction as your 1-point perspective. Okay, so that is how you do that. Now I'm going to do a little bonus here for alcohol markers, so hold on. Actually, I think I'll do the alcohol markers separately, or this thing is going to be really long. Okay, bye.